I've just arrived at Dubai International, where tonight I'll be flying on Cathay Pacific in business class from Dubai to Hong Kong.
Hello, YouTube travelers, and welcome to the Gentleman of Fortune channel. Join me on my travels around the world, and together we'll review the latest in flight and lounge offerings, find out how various airlines' first and business class products stack up, sample their catering, and indulge in their finest champagnes. Together, we'll experience the best of the best, and maybe some more obscure ones too. So be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss a thing. And now I invite you to sit back and relax as we get this next adventure underway.
Wow, the Terminal 1 experience is a whole lot different and a whole lot more chaotic than traveling through Dubai's Terminal 3. After passing through immigration, security, taking the little train ride, and some compulsory stops at the various lounges, I've arrived at the gate. After about a 20-minute delay, it's finally time to board our 777 bound for Hong Kong. I'll take the dedicated jet bridge for business class passengers, as there's no first on this flight, and continue on to the L1 door. Once on board, I'll take a right-hand turn and proceed to the second mini business class cabin. Now here's a first look at my window seat, which is behind a bulkhead which is formed by a storage closet. As you can see, waiting for me at the seat, there's a pillow as well as a couple of menu cards. At shoulder level, we have the IFE controller, as well as a personal reading light. And then down below, you've got controls for the seat. There's also some AV inputs, as well as a universal power outlet. Around the corner in the storage cubby, there's a bottle of water waiting for me, as well as headphones and an amenity kit. I'll take a look at this in further depth later. Oh, and there's also a vanity mirror on the inside of the door. Adjusting the TV out of the way for a moment, you can see the footwell, where there is waiting for me the bedding as well as a pair of slippers. Down below at foot level, there's also a couple more storage slots. A button on the panel in front of you deploys the TV, and it swings out as so. But as you can see, it's not the biggest TV. And here's a quick look at the closet that's in front of you. As you can see, it's not actually a bathroom, even though there is one further up. Looking back to the seat now, you can see there's some additional storage underneath the armrest, and this button here causes the armrest to raise, which you can use when you're not sleeping. As I settled into my seat, I was offered a welcome drink from the crew who seemed to be frantically trying to get through their chores. Even though they're busy, I've got plenty of time as there's still passengers boarding, so let's take a look at the business class lavatory. The nice thing about it is that it's quite large, so there's plenty of room to move around or change if you need to. Other than the size, it's pretty basic, but at least it's clean. They do have some toiletries offered by Banford. Now that this lavatory visit's out of the way, let's return to the seat and see if there's anything else we can discover about it. Okay, so we do have a literature pocket, which is located near your right foot. Overhead, we do have a couple more reading lights, but sadly no personal air vents. From the console by the window, you can pull out the tray table, which folds open. And now that we've got a workspace, let's take a look at the amenity kit. This kit in white faux leather is branded with Bamford, and it also features a tag that has the Cathay Brushwing logo on it. First item out of the amenity kit is a eye mask. Next up, we've got some earplugs. And then we've got this promotional card. Let's take a close-up of this. Okay, now back to the items from the kit. We've got some toothpaste, And next up, we've got this branded Bamford face mist, followed by another tube from Bamford. This time it's hand and body lotion. There's a toothbrush in here. A little container of mouthwash, which is nice. And one last thing from Bamford. This is a lip balm. Alright, so here you can see all the swag that came out of the Amenity bag. So as we saw when we first took a look at the seat, there were two menu cards waiting for me on the side table. The first one was a beverages menu, which we'll take a look at here, followed by a dining menu. If you're not interested in the contents of the menu cards, you can jump ahead to the 7-minute, 10-second mark. Just a couple of other items that were at the seat. You remember these slippers that were on top of the bedding set. Not the most substantial, but it beats going to the lavatory and just your socks. And then the last remaining item that was at the seat is this set of headphones for the IFE. Pretty decent quality with padded ear cups and a padded headband. Wow, good timing on my part. I just finished up looking at all the items at the seat, and the flight attendants are now back, this time with a hot towel. Looks like all the ground activity outside is wrapping up, so hopefully we'll be underway shortly. As we may have a few more minutes, let's take a look at the in-flight entertainment options. As you can see, the monitor is a touchscreen, but it doesn't have the fastest response times. There's definitely some latency in the system. I guess our time for exploring the IFE is up, as it's time for the emergency information video. Seems like they've had this same video forever. You can definitely say that Cathay is consistent. With the emergency instruction video out of the way, it's finally time to push back. But can we pause for a moment to appreciate just how beautiful this new Air India livery is? That's one of their brand new A350s. I decided to try to fire up the IFE as we taxied out, but I was faced with this. At first I thought I was given a bunk headphone jack, but then I remembered that time when I was trying to close the door with the vanity mirror, and it wouldn't shut, and I think that was in there, so I maybe bent it myself. The prong itself was fairly malleable, and I was actually able to bend it back into the correct position, and then the headphones worked fine. After what seemed like forever, with a long delay before boarding, and then a long delay waiting for everybody to get on board, it's finally time to take off and head to Hong Kong. At long last, we're on our way to Hong Kong. Today's journey will take us over India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and China. Promptly after passing 10,000 feet, the flight attendants are back with another drink offering. This time I chose a champagne. Tonight I'll be drinking Drapier, and in very short order, my meal is delivered, which I pre-ordered. I selected the beef burger with veal bacon. Maybe it's not the fanciest thing on the menu, but let's see how it stacks up against perennial rival Singapore Airlines. Post-burger verdict, I think Singapore Airlines takes this round, but it was still pretty good. You see this? They're trying to sway my vote with more champagne. That's not going to work. It'd at least take some chocolate. Wait a minute. Their chocolate offerings to accompany the dessert make for a pretty nice touch. Well, with dinner over, it's probably time to get some sleep. Here's a look at the seat that's been fully extended into the bed position. And now here's a look at it dressed up with the pillow and the bed linens. One of the good things about this seat is that there's plenty of room for your feet in the footwell. All right, good night. See you in the morning. In preparation for the breakfast meal service, I'm offered a hot towel. I've elected to go with their continental breakfast, which features fresh fruit as well as some nice pastries. As we get ready to descend, I wanted to point out that they still offer an in-flight magazine, which doubles as a onboard duty-free shopping catalog. So it's never too late to get those souvenirs for your friends that you may have forgotten to pick something up for. And with that, we begin our descent into a gray and rainy Hong Kong. So as the flight wraps up, I guess I would say that this has been a decent flight. It wasn't spectacular, but it really checked all the necessary boxes. One of which is chocolate boxes. Just kidding, but that was a nice touch. What I'm talking about is it had a decent bed for sleeping, decent in-flight entertainment, and the food was good, and the price point is actually relatively reasonable. I do feel, though, that the flight attendants, while very amicable, seemed to be very frantic on this flight. The only explanation I can posit is that it was a full flight in business class, and maybe they had some extra demanding passengers. Anyway, thank you for taking this journey with me. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you'll consider doing that. And of course, don't forget to hit that like button and the notification bell. And feel free to leave a comment on your experiences with Cathay Pacific. Welcome to Hong Kong. And as I always say, until the next video, safe travels.